I'm back to see Darren and Julie Spry. 14 months ago, these ex-chip shop owners charged Phil and I with finding them a new home and a new business. But with Julie pregnant and homeless, time was not on our side. Finding a new home is always tough, but when you're changing locations and finding a new job, it's even tougher.
Scarborough fish and chip shop owners Julie and Darren Spry are on the hunt for a new family home. For Julie, living above the shop in a small flat with a tiny kitchen and bathroom is no bed of roses, and she's had enough. Son Freddie is 10 months old and there's another baby on the way.
It's not conducive to family life. Some ground floor living accommodation is absolutely essential so that I can feel that I can take the babies and the dog straight out of the back door, out into the very essential garden, and just feel like it's more of a normal living situation.
Working 70 hours a week has taken its toll on Darren too, and he hardly ever gets time with his family.
Darren's downstairs working all day and I'm up here or out and about with Freddie. So we don't really get to see each other until late into the evening.
Scarborough's lost its charm for them, and they're looking to make a new family-friendly start.
It's very kiss-me-quick. We don't really like Freddie to see people drunk, throwing food about and being particularly noisy at midnight.
Really, we want to be in sort of more of a rural location, don't we?
We want to serve a community.
So they're quitting Scarborough, and with Julie's parents living in Chesterfield, they've decided to focus their search to nearby Lincolnshire. So the family's close, but not too close. They've sold their award-winning chippy to finance this new life. So they're homeless with a baby on the way. Crikey, the clock really is ticking.
We need to find great accommodation for Julie, Darren and their expanding brood, and I'm determined to eliminate any awful above-the-shop accommodation.
And as the home is driving our search, I've been given carte blanche with the business. They're not bothered what it is, as long as family life improves. It doesn't even have to be a chippy.
In Lincolnshire, house sales outnumber business sales 500 to 1, so it ain't going to be easy. They've raised 80 grand from the sale of their chip shop and home, and due to their solid business record, they can get a loan to bring their budget to £275,000. First up, we're in the perfect village environment at the heart of the community, looking at a great family home. It's in the village of Billingborough, and I think it's a real find. This place has downstairs living area, kitchen and garden, plus 4 bedrooms upstairs.
Sounding good so far, and the business is great. A fish and chip shop that's at the front of the living space. It's just come back onto the market for 245 grand, well under their 275 budget, and for my money, it's a winner.
First up this morning, I've got a fish and chip shop for you. So it can't be a bad
Familiar
thing.
territory, definitely.
Well, as they say, better the devil you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Clearly they hadn't worked with Phil before.
Oh, wow. I'm actually really impressed. Accommodation with fish and chip shops are notoriously in poor condition.
You really are at the centre of the village.
That is village life. It's pretty much got everything that we've asked for. The shop is at the centre of the village, and it's really the kind of place that we'd like to settle.
Blimey, this is all going really well. And what's more, the chippy's got a healthy turnover of around 1,500 quid a week for a very sociable 30 hours, giving a gross annual income of around £36,000.
What this shop has, which our last business didn't have, is the fact that the community are literally supporting the business day after day, week after week.
Could we have a serious contender with our first appointment?
What have you thought of the accommodation?
As far as I'm concerned, the accommodation is absolutely spot on, but I have got one reservation, and that's that alleyway next door.
See, that's been such a problem for us before.
I don't want kids hanging around outside my back door.
Talk about speaking too soon. I knew Darren and Julie had some trouble outside their Scarborough chippy, but they simply can't compare this sleepy village to the rough and tumble of a seaside resort. This property is perfect. A fabulous home, a profitable business that they already understand. To reject it because of this alleyway is madness.
Julie's reaction tells me that community really is going to be the make or break issue with this search. She wants to be at the centre of a village that's really going to improve family life. I'm seriously concerned, so I'm going back to the agents to see what else has come on the market.
Phil, you're such a worrier. I think our next appointment has all the ingredients they're after, with not a single alleyway in sight. We've moved the search to the nearby village of Morton. This bungalow has a kitchen cum family room, a sitting room, 2 good-sized bedrooms, a bathroom, plus that all-important garden for Julie at the back. The property is on the market for £245,000, well within their budget. The location's spot on too.
What a lovely village.
It's basically what a village should be, isn't it?
I'm glad you think that. That's a very good first impression.
Attached to the house is the business side of things. No chip shop this time, it's a thriving village shop with off-licence and post office. So they'd be putting down roots in a well-established community.
Now, coming straight in here, I'm going to take you through to what the current owners have got arranged as a family room and kitchen.
I'm taken to the shape of the room.
Yeah.
And I can really see that we could have exactly what we need in it because there's plenty of space.
Now, this is what you wanted, Julie.
I need a garden.
You need a garden.
I need a garden.
It's actually a very good size.
It is a really good size.
I mean, one of the things that appeals to me about this property is you've got the opportunity to add value to the property itself. You could put on a sunroom, you could redo the garden, and you could really make the house a very interesting prospect.
Yeah.
Home and garden, bang on target.
But don't forget the business. It's a far cry from the fish and chip shop, but a village store will give them regular hours and more of that all-important family time. As postmasters, these two would be at the hub of the village. If they like the business, they'd have to apply for a licence to run the post office. But with Darren's business brain, I'm sure he'd be successful. Which is great news because it's a nice little earner too. 50 grand a year to be precise.
What would you feel standing behind here as you're...
You go in.
How does it feel, Darren?
It feels odd. I have to say it feels odd because it's not something that I'd considered doing.
Come on, Darren. Help us out here. This place gives a great income and allows more time as a family. Plus the living space is ideal.
I'm not ruling this out. Not completely ruling.
not
It
asking
doesn't
you to
fire me up.
No.
But I'm not ruling it out.
But what I'm trying to point out to you is that for the next 10, 15 years, I want to put down roots so the children can go to school, and I cannot see you being enthusiastic about bringing in a new flavour of pot noodle.
Alleyways, pot noodles. I think these two have forgotten that they're jobless and homeless.
I'm scouring the agents in the hope that a new property might come to light.
Whilst I carry on with the search to get the combination of family home for Julie and inspiring business for Darren. I've found somewhere in Folkingham, one of the most sought-after villages in Lincolnshire. This listed Georgian family house is fantastic. It's not just accommodation attached to a business, it's a home in its own right, crammed with charm. It would provide the secure nest Julie's desperate for. Downstairs is a sitting room, kitchen and utility rooms, with 4 double bedrooms and bathroom upstairs. Plus, it has 4 outhouses and a pretty garden.
For Darren, there's an underperforming tea shop, open 1 day a week. That's got to get his business brain whirring into action.
It's on for £295,000, 20 over budget, but with some serious elbow grease, Darren could turn the tea shop into a gold mine. Believe you me, the stunning home has these two written all over it, and we simply had to show it to them.
Wow. This is the sitting room.
Well, not really much character. Incredible.
What we're looking at right now is basically a family space, isn't it? And it feels...
It feels like a home.
Blimey, they're moving in already and they haven't even seen the 4 sunny bedrooms upstairs.
I didn't expect
It's
it to
massive,
be as
isn't it?
long-reaching as it is.
The garden's nice and private, just what Julie wants.
Oh no, it's fine.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, it's in fact no, that's a terrible thing
better
to
than
say.
fine.
It's more than fine.
Yeah.
I can't help but smile, but we've been here before, twice. They've yet to see the tea room and I haven't told them the price.
It is on at £295,000.
That's a lot over budget.
It is.
Even though there's room for negotiation, the mere mention of the budget has sent them into a spin. Is the charm of the house and the child-friendly garden going to be enough to make them dig deeper?
I can't help but feel a little bit frustrated, really, and slightly disappointed, purely because we're looking at a property and a business which is essentially out of our reach.
That's it. Let's walk away. The only thing I think we've achieved in this property, and I think we have achieved something, is that you have shown that your comfort zone is where you want to operate in.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been made crystal clear, and we won't make that mistake again. There's no more budget stretching.
No, that's just
There
not
can't be.
on the
There
cards
can't
for
be.
us.
Yeah.
That told me that these two have got to realise that a limited budget means compromise.
But chatting up the agents has paid off. I reckon I found something special. It's in the market town of Boston, and I'm joining the guys to check it out.
It isn't a million miles away from what they're used to, an old fish restaurant. And Boston, being a busy town, means more people. More people means the potential for more money for the family to enjoy. But it's the house that made it an absolute must. It's stunning.
I'm desperate to see
Yeah,
this
we
place.
need to go. We need to go.
This 3-storey Georgian townhouse is in one of Boston's best streets. It was once a thriving fish restaurant that's now empty but packed with potential. The living space is simply charming, with a sitting room and kitchen on the ground floor and 4 bedrooms, bathroom and drawing room above. And there's a lovely garden.
And the price stacks up too. In fact, it's a whopping 75 grand under budget at just under £200,000.
The sign's actually listed. It really is. It's like stepping back in time. It's amazing.
Now, the current owner's father set up the fish restaurant, and you can see that very little has changed.
Nothing has changed.
It's a Georgian house which has had updating. It's almost like every family that have been in it have done something to it. There's Edwardian elements, there's elements from the 1930s, and then at some point in the last 40 years, that updating stopped.
So, what are they thinking? Hopefully they can see that this location is somewhere they can put down roots and the house is big enough to grow into.
My heart literally is screaming, you can't bring Freddie here, and you certainly can't bring another one into the world here. It's not right. Village life.
Well, let's just go and see the rest of it, for curiosity's sake.
I barely want to stay in the building, to be completely honest. I feel so strongly about it.
Oh, come on, Julie, this is a fantastic place to bring up a family and you don't even want to look around.
At least check out the former restaurant. It's been empty for over 20 years and is crying out for someone like Darren to take it on. And remember that price, under 200 grand.
It's a house of history. It is unbelievable.
I'm more likely to say something along the lines of underground public convenience.
Well, that's that. I was convinced this place would be a last-minute winner. Even the fantastic outside space isn't going to sway Julie.
My heart sinks, really, because I don't think I can sacrifice a rural community, which we've anchored after for a long time now.
These two are tricky customers. We've used up all our options. I don't think they realise what they want for their budget just isn't out there.
Is there anything else that's in your mind that you want me to explore?
I think there's a possibility that we're comparing the properties that we're seeing today and yesterday back to the Red Lion at East Kirkby, near Spilsby, which is a property that I've seen sort of probably a month or two ago.
We've seen it. We discounted it.
Right.
Why?
We discounted it because it didn't think it was in a particularly exciting village, and it's on at £300,000. It's clicking around your brain still.
Still.
Big property with a lot of potential, but it's 300 grand.
And what did
the
you do to
finances
me
may not be
yesterday?
right.
No, honestly,
Yesterday, when I took you to see that tea shop, which cost too much money, I thought I would die of guilt.
Kirstie, we're not kidding you. We can't pull more out of nowhere.
No.
But if it's been on a while, if indeed it's still on the market.
I'll find out some more information on that.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Aha, so that's the real story. All along, Julie has been comparing everything against the Red Lion pub she saw a while back, and now wants to take a second look.
Luck is on their side. The Red Lion at East Kirby is still on the market. It's a lovely old traditional pub with a selection of outbuildings and a huge garden that I can really see Julie falling for. But the compact living accommodation of 2 double bedrooms, a sitting room and bathroom is upstairs, above the pub. Another reason we discounted it.
This is on at 300 grand, 25 over their budget. But despite claiming they had no extra money in the kitty, it doesn't seem to matter here.
There's big smiles on your face.
There's definitely going to be a big smile on my face while I'm here.
You look a different person.
Now, I can completely understand wanting to live in a pub, but we've been dead set on finding a family home for these two, and I can't see how this place betters anything else we've seen, even with its big garden and outbuildings. Clearly, Julie can.
This is where I see our family,
Living in here.
with considerable amount of alteration, but obviously it's very close to the garden.
Julie's plan is to turn these outbuildings into a family home, and with her dad being a builder, it's a good plan. But am I missing something? Where's the money coming from?
And whilst any transformation takes place, they'd still be living upstairs for at least a year. I hope they've thought all this through.
This place is almost a property in business in instalments, isn't it?
Yes, in the making.
You get a bit, you do a bit, you make a bit of money, then you do a bit more, and then all of a sudden you've got something, this will appeal to Kirstie, worth a bit, something that you've really built up, and something we can call ours.
But Darren, you'd be running the pub at the same time. It's not firing on all cylinders now, and currently turns over less than £1,000 a week. And to get this place back to its prime, they'll be working 24/7. So much for family time.
This is very nice. This is all very nice. But think about the realities of it.
The reality is that it's an asking price of £300,000.
Well, we might be able to do a deal, but 4.5 days a week and 30 hours at the chippy for £1,500. 7 days a week, all hours God gives, for almost half that.
I know.
Twice the work, half the money.
I know, and I wouldn't run a pub for
Even
all
I
tea
can
in
do
China.
those maths.
Despite my concerns, they've really fallen for this place. And after a busy afternoon, it's time to touch base and find out where we go next.
But it's been a real journey, hasn't it? Twists and turns all the way along the way.
Are you at a place where you want to make an offer and you've got a figure in mind, or are you wanting to think about it more?
I personally feel that we should take some time to talk about everything that's happened.
If we could put a phone call in saying, yeah, we quite like it, we're considering a couple of opportunities, but the price is a real issue, we're having a think about it, we'll get back to you in due course. They start to scratch their chin, and they're the ones that are losing sleep, not you.
So it's decided. Offer-wise, we hold tight for a week. Then Kirstie puts in an offer of $245,000, some 55 under the asking price. Well, the news is in.
It's not going to come as a bolt from the blue that they turned down the offer of 245.
So that was that. They had no extra cash, so they called time on the Red Lion and postponed the search. With nowhere else to go, they had no option but to move the whole family in with Julie's parents.
A few months down the line and the search resumed. Despite the knockback of losing the pub and with an extra mouth to feed, Darren and Julie were just as committed to finding a family home and a family-friendly business.
With the arrival of baby Joe, Darren and Julie shifted the search slightly to be nearer to the support of Julie's parents and began the search all over again. They were beginning to think that their dream property would remain just a dream.
But I'm thrilled to report that Darren and Julie did finally find the right business-home combo here in Haxty, just outside Doncaster. But surprise, surprise, it's a shop, something Darren said was a total no-no. So I'm determined to find out what changed his mind and whether we played any part in it.
I'm not one to be smug, but
I've got one thing to say to you, Darren Spry.
It's a pot noodle, isn't it?
One pot noodle, please.
After all I said as well.
You put us through hell and back. Oh, never run a shop. No, not interesting enough.
I know.
The original reason for selling the chip shop was to spend more time with the family, to work less hard.
Yes.
Have you achieved that?
I think I work harder. I certainly work more hours, but the ability to just pop through and be involved with the family means that... I mean, Joe, he was the bump when we met you first time. I know him and he knows me better than at Freddie's same stage of life he knew me.
by compromising on the type of business they've gone for, Darren and Julie have managed to find a great family home in the village setting they were craving. Not only that, but they've got themselves a real bargain. This place only cost them £218,000, 57 grand under budget. It's got a bedroom for each of the children, a big bathroom, a master bedroom, and a separate sitting room area where the couple can relax at the end of the day. Outside, there's a spacious garden and the house to grow into.
I gather from Darren that there's 2 people sleeping upstairs
Fast asleep.
and there's another one on the way.
And we do now have our own new bump, yes.
That is fantastic. All I know about Haxey is what I saw as I drove through it, but it seemed to have a post office, there's a beautiful church. What's the community feel like here?
It's brilliant. The people, sometimes when you're having your worst possible day,
Yeah.
the people never ever make a bad day worse, they always make a bad day better. I'll see you later, Pat.
I can't believe the energy of these two. Not content with a thriving business and a rapidly expanding family, Darren and Julie have major plans for the house as well.
Am I right in thinking that you're going to extend up?
Yes, the traditional roof is going to be brought across to get rid of the flat roof, basically.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to fit 2 good-sized bedrooms up there.
So you'd end up with a 5-bed house?
Yes.
With a large garden? It's going to be quite an undertaking.
Because we didn't actually spend right up to our budget.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's
The money that was left over, you know, we can start with sort of straight away, really.
in the village. Is it a good village for a family?
I think so. I mean, it's early days, but what we've seen of it, you know, we both really like.
There's a good network in place of baby groups and preschools, and the school, which is about 500 yards in that direction, it's really excellent.
So you've got it all there,
Yeah, it's all there.
and this is definitely the right.
This is definitely the right choice, and it's definitely home now.
Yes, definitely.
It took a long time for them to find the right property, and now they've got it, there's many more months of building work and upheaval, not to mention 2 children and another on the way. But their energy and family focus is always incredibly impressive.